With a good weather forecast, we decided to climb the Birnhorn in the Leogang Steinberger in the Austrian Alps. There are a couple of options for how to get there. We decided to head into the Passauer Hütte from the north, which is around 1400 meters of ascent, and turned out to be a lovely walk in and much more enjoyable than the much steeper way to the south. The initial climb was up through the forests and on a very good track before we finally emerged out of the forest to have lovely views north towards the Berchtesgadener Mountains and the Steinernes Meer. As we arrived at the col by the hut, we were treated to a wonderful view south towards the main alpine ridge. We made good time to the hut, which meant we were able to enjoy the sun on the terrace in the afternoon with a few beers and some afternoon food. We all slept quite badly in the hut, but woke up to a beautiful morning the next day above a massive inversion in the valley to make the 600-meter ascent up to the top of the Birnhorn. We climbed the Birnhorn via the Melkerloch and the south face, which was an interesting route to the summit with some nice positions above the inversion in the valley below and some easy but enjoyable scrambling. The day wasn't very warm, which made the ascent up the south face very pleasurable, although it did mean as we emerged at the top into the wind that it was very cold. As we emerged, the wind was stronger than I was hoping for and not from the direction I was hoping for, which meant that my initial plan of where I was going to launch from wasn't going to work. However, I did think that it might be possible to launch from the summit, but in the end decided that this was too risky, so made the decision to walk down. I wasn't very happy about this as I thought it meant that I was going to have to carry my glider all the way back down. But as we were descending down the north side of the Birnhorn to the col between the Birnhorn and the Kugelhorn, I spotted a launch that looked like it was perfectly orientated into the wind and assumed the wind would be lower a few hundred meters below the summit. Thankfully, as we got there, my intuition was correct and it was almost a perfect launch place. So after quickly setting up my glider, I launched into the wind and set off on my flight down. I was a little bit hasty in setting up my glider, which meant that some of my lines caught as I pulled the glider up, but thankfully I didn't break any lines and was able to successfully launch to enjoy a nice but very short flight down with wonderful views back up to the Passauer Hütte and the Birnhorn before landing in the very green valley below. While I was waiting for the others to descend, I headed to a local restaurant and enjoyed an excellent schnitzel in the sunshine.